Hey ladies and gents, welcome to an eFootball 2022 video where I'm not actually going to try and bash it, or I'm going to try my best to avoid bashing it. Yes, current state, the version we've all played so far is simply not good enough. But let's cast our mind back to PES 2014, one of the worst football games, in my opinion, ever made until eFootball 2022 launched. But what do these two games have in common? These were the first two games that were on a brand new engine. PES 2014 was the very first game on the Fox engine, and eFootball 2022 was the first game on the Unreal 4 engine. However, the difference to me is the direction of these games. PES 2014 always felt and still feels like a PES game from yesteryear. You know, it's always been much of the same, you know, 1-2s down the middle, typical low chance of scoring from crosses, etc. But I find like eFootball 2022 is going, or just generally eFootball is going in a whole new direction. I think they've accepted that FIFA's captured the arcade game market, and it's going to be impossible to wrench that fan base away with the license that they have, the presentation, how easy it is just to pick up and play, but how hard it is to actually master and become one of the best players in the world. Now, I believe eFootball 2022 is definitely aiming for a total simulation feel. I think that's where they want to go. Sure, the execution right now feels terrible, but PES 2021 online, like when I was watching the pros, it just simply wasn't enjoyable at all. Constant 1-2 spam through the middle of the field, double touch spam, literally the only skill you'd ever see from players screaming, "What a goal!" you know, if they did like the double touch 4 times in a row, because the other skills were largely useless online or really hard to pull off without serious dedication to learning, mastering. But even then, with the lag, the skill button input, and the delay of those inputs being delivered by your player actually on the screen often resulted in your, losing the ball unless you got really lucky. The version I played at the Konami HQ was even slower paced, and I know you're probably groaning thinking, what the hell, Spoony? What do you mean slower paced? Yes, it was. However, once I started understanding and using the mix and mixing in like the sharp kicks, which no one has available, I soon realized that that's how you could increase the tempo of the match. So 1 minute it could be really slow paced, but then you start picking up using the sharp kicks, switching the play from side to side, and I think like trying to play through the middles, very difficult, especially against even a half decent player. And as you'll probably find, that the gameplay is a little lethargic, especially without the sharp kicks, even with the release version that we've got so far. And this was always a huge omission for me. But even with sharp kicks, let's say sharp kicks was there, it still wouldn't have fixed the launch title. And another thing with the launch, the difference with the HQ version was the defending was so much more difficult, like probably 10 times harder than it is now. Honestly, like the AI just walls through my defense like it wasn't even there. And I thought, geez, this game is really hard. But at the same time, I could sort of appreciate that skill gap. I had to relearn the game. I don't want to have to pick up a game and be amazing in it as soon as I pick up the gamepad. So it's quite good to like actually try and learn the game again on that HQ version. And once I accepted that I needed to relearn how to defend, I started to actually enjoy it a little bit. We're not talking, let's not kid ourselves here. The build that I played at the Konami HQ was just a 6 or 7 out of 10 at best. But I could see the vision, and it felt like a good base, unlike PES 2014, which felt like another PES game sticking to a winning formula, but just was incomplete. It was terrible. It was really bad. But the 1-2 spam down the middle of the pitch in eFootball 2022, like I said, against a skilled opponent is very difficult. I was playing devs who've probably played the game way more than I have, and some of the other members of staff that have also probably played it more than I have. I felt like you actually generally had to work the ball forward slowly, and that's what always put me off watching pros play eFootball, PES 2021. it was constant 1-2 spam right through the middle, usually ending with a through ball, and your defence would either deal with it easily or just fall apart for no apparent reason. They would just like watch the ball go through and the ball would be played perfectly and there was nothing you could do about it. As I played against a couple of developers and the Konami staff members, it quickly became apparent that the game is far more tactical and forced you to treat it like a sim, otherwise you would struggle to build attacks and create chances. It took 7 years to go from PES 2014 to PES 2021, which, we all think is amazing, and it is a great game. But I am tired of PES 2021, if I'm being brutally honest. I want a new direction. I don't want PES 2021 version 2 with some slight tweaks here and there, fixing maybe some of the bugs that are in PES 2021. I want a new direction. I want a more realistic simulation. So just imagine if the realistic simulation is the direction that they want to go, then imagine just where they'll be in 7 years from now if they truly dedicate and nail the gameplay, which I believe they will over in time. I just don't think we'll see it in eFootball 2022, maybe not even in eFootball 2023, where we should expect the Unreal 5 engine to kick in. But in 7 years I'd expect to see further hardware upgrades as well to the Xbox and PlayStation 2, so we'll see further development there. I'm still excited for the future of eFootball 2022. Well, let's say eFootball. I'm not going to say 2022 because I just don't have any hope for 2022 or even 2023. To be brutally honest, it's going to take some serious coding to pull it back right now, and it is hard to get excited. But if they do go down that full simulation route, it might be a niche market, but one I wouldn't mind giving a crack myself personally. Anyway, that's all from me, ladies and gents. I just wanted to share, my thoughts around the vision of eFootball 2022, or just eFootball in general. And I am kind of excited if they do go down the realistic approach and simulation approach, because I think that's where they could steal a market and, let FIFA have the arcade side of things, but let's just take PES down a purely realistic simulation approach and go down that route and stick with it, see where they are in 7 years, and then basically say, from this video, what did we learn? Is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What are you hoping? What do you want the vision for eFootball to be? Do you want it to be simulation? Do you want to be a mix of simulation and arcade? Do you want it to be full arcade? Let me know down in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you guys. Anyway, that's all for me. I can't wait to show you what I've got coming soon. Anyway, that's all. Like I said, thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.